Well, hello and welcome to this week's edition to the Red Raider Coaches Show. My name is Brent Johnson, along with head football coach Thad Williams. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to get started by thanking a few people early on. We'd always like to recognize specifically the organizations, the churches in this case, that helped to provide our game day meal last week. That was Antioch Church out in Scuffletown. Appreciate some good folks out there that showed up and showed out again, like all the others this past Friday, and helped prepare our guys for the game, homecoming game last Friday against a pretty good football team that came into town, and we anticipated that. Homecoming, we talked about it a little bit last week, just a lot of stuff that goes on, a lot of distractions. I've been teaching here for almost 18 years now. We've had multiple head coaches come through here, and I don't think any of them look forward to homecoming week just because of all the distractions and stuff. But I'm sort of a traditionalist. I think all those things are good, especially for the majority of the student body and the faculty in our community. But nonetheless, we got through it. Friday came. Thomasville come into town ranked somewhere between 1 and 3 in the state, just like 3 other teams in our region, ranked in the top 5 or 6, and that's what we expected coming into this year and in this region period. And we continue to talk about that, but things didn't go our way in a couple different areas. I mentioned before the show, sometimes there's things that's fixable. The team makes mistakes, which we did, and we'll discuss a few of those. But this is a pretty good football team. There's a couple areas you just get whipped in, and ain't nothing you can do about it. And that's part of it. They're a program that we're striving to be. We're trying to become.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's part. It's a good learning experience too. So, Coach, one of the questions that I wanted to ask, and I think some folks out in our audience will want to know is, what do we learn from a loss? I would say like that. We give up quite a few points. I only hate even run it off my tongue. 74. And give up quite a few in the first half. But what is the coaching staff as a head coach? I know it stinks. Obviously it stings really bad. But what can you learn from that? And pass on to the kids.
I think that one of the things that for my coaching staff was how do we handle the pressure moments when our back is against the wall? Are we going crumble up, or are we going stay to the game plan and stay with what we worked on all week? I think that our coaches didn't crumble up. We didn't do none of that. We stayed the course. We know some things didn't go our way early. I got a little heated at the refs, especially with the onside kick. But I think that we kept our composure as a staff. We kept our composure, and that's what we're trying to install in these kids. So when things get a little hectic, we don't want you to lose your mind or forget the standards. That's kind of one of the things that I preached on at halftime. Walked into halftime, sat down in the chair, made all of them gather around me. And we went over every standard that we stand on, what we believe in, and kind of reminded them of this is the times that you lean on your standards. And that's what we did. And I was very, very proud. The kids didn't quit.
No, they didn't.
Man, I was real surprised. I know that the loss hurt me, okay, and didn't want to say too many words to nobody after the game, but I was walking off proud of our guys. They didn't quit. They stood on pride. They stood on the mentally tough, and they stood on the character. Didn't have no one that just acted out in no kind of way. The name, how they label us, Bacon County.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. But the thing that I was most proud of was we didn't do none of that. We didn't do none of that. And it even came a situation after the handshake where their kid kind of wanted to try to start something. Our kids we weren't fazed by it. So what can we learn from this? They are, I told my team, they're our second, third, fourth round, maybe state championship team.
Yeah.
That's what we want to get at. Early in the week they told me, said, Coach, we want to play third, fourth, fifth round. So I said, this is our first test. When you play teams like that, you can't have turnovers. You got to concentrate on the small things, and that's what we learned from this football team. I'm talking about from the coaches all the way down to the kids. So I wanted, like I said, I was ready for this test. I wanted to see how we was gonna react, and we got a lot of the growing we got to do. We got a lot of things we got to fix, and that's on and off the field. So that's what we're striving to do. We're taking this as a learning experience. We're not we flush it down. We're ready to go to the next week, but I really wanted us to see what it takes to be the second, third, or fourth round football team. You know, Berrien, I was talking to Berrien yesterday at football practice, and he had a little break during the offensive time, and he came to me and he said, we was just talking, he said, Coach, he said, I'm going to tell you the difference between us and Thomas Speed. I said, talk to me. You know, talk to me. I really want to hear this. And my heart started pounding a little bit, you know. Right. And he said, their center said, what do y'all do when football is not happening? And he said, Coach, that touched me because we trying to get on that level. So just to hear that center say that, like nobody on the field could say nothing. So I wanted them to understand, like, that's what we trying to do. That's the mindset that I need them to have. So I was real shocked that me and Berrien conversation yesterday. Wow. So we're learning. We're learning.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've always said I'm maybe the most optimistic Raider fan there is over the years. Obviously, I try to see the positives in almost anything, and I did see some positives. Number one, I saw a team that didn't quit. Number two, I saw a team that didn't get into the pushing and shoving and scuffling. You know, when you're getting beat like that, it's emotional. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough, and then especially if you got some. And I'm not saying they were, but if you got some people smack talking, and it's easy to do when you're up on a team like that. Okay, like, you know, when you're that on the opposite end of it. So that's what I was super proud of, that we didn't have any shenanigans. I mean, it was a little bit here and there, not letting go after but I thought the refs overall did a pretty decent job of commanding that. Now, some of the play calling, you know, we won't get into that, but early on in the game that kind of shifted some emotion, you know, and gave them. You got to give their coach a lot of credit. I mean, whether the onside kick was good or not, that was a heck of a play call.
Yeah, it was.
You kick a team wild, you get them. We were on our heels, and they turn around and do that, and they were. You know, the refs said they were successful, and that gave them an opportunity to kind of step on the gas and give them a lot of credit.
Yeah.
But when you turn the ball over, the mistakes that we can control, especially fumbles, you know, that's gives us an opportunity to. Or gives them another opportunity to capitalize. You know, a team that you evenly matched with, you give them 5 turnovers, you probably shouldn't win.
Yeah.
Okay, much less a team that's better.
Yeah.
You know, from top to bottom. So I thought our quarterback Hennessy, I saw him develop as a passer. I felt like he threw some really good deep balls. A couple of them were caught, but some of them were there, available to be caught. They just defense made some plays. We saw the touchdown pass to Sandy, great catch, but over the shoulder here. I mean, that was you know. So again, I saw some positive things as we continue to move forward. You know, I felt like running the ball was going to be key to this game, keeping their offense off the field. Yeah. And again, with the turnovers, we struggle with that and a couple things. But again, all learning points. And like you go ahead.
And with Scotland, you know, this is a crazy story. My college head coach is Coach Simpson at UT Martin. You know, his son is starting quarterback at Alabama, and me and some common friends that me and Ty got have actually been talking, and I'm gonna get Ty to kind of talk to Scotland.
Wow.
Just to give him some pointers and encouraging words. But I think that Scotland's playing some good ball right now, and I think talking to Ty will elevate his game more than ever. But like you said, we can't turn the ball over against a good football team, and what I used was in the playoffs. You know, when you turn the ball over in the playoffs, you're going to lose.
That's right. You're going to lose.
So hopefully we learn from that. You know, ball security, just taking care of the ball at all times. It's not just one player. It's everybody. You know, so we gotta we got to champion. We got to champion those moments, and we got to take care of the ball.
And Coach, I'll mention one thing, and I'm always careful because I don't want to throw kids under the bus. I don't want to throw, that sort of thing. And I obviously wouldn't. I'll just say it. I think there was some you had to discipline some players to keep. They did some players that normally would have started or played more, maybe didn't. Do you want to talk about the policy or how that works?
Yeah, I have a policy, and I'm gonna stick to it to the day I die. And out there, I know it looks bad, and it's on me. That's on me. Everybody, can say what they want to say, but it's just a standard I gotta keep grounded. And we had some players who needed the discipline, and I had to enforce it. It cost me 74 points. It cost me 74 points. So it cost us being in a hole in 21. But if it takes that for them to understand, I'll do it. And I just want everybody to understand, the standard is the standard. Nobody is bigger than the standard. So if you cross the line, you got to pay. It's just the way that I've been taught. It's the way that I've been brought up, and it's just the way that I live. So, we had some discipline problems in the first quarter, and those guys just had to pay the price. So, unfortunately, it didn't work out for us because we looked up, and we were down 21-0. So, I think that those guys are going to learn from it. I really do. I really believe it in my heart. They're going to learn from it. And we just gonna get ready for this Friday. So it's been better.
Yeah.
It's been better, but I just want our guys to know we can't make those mistakes against good football teams, on and off the field.
Right. Well, last word on that. I think we all, it starts here, and most, if not all, of the folks that watch this show will be in completely agreement with you. I said earlier, I'll lose 90-0 if we're doing it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
If you're consistent in that continue to build that culture.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's again, you can't argue, you can't complain about that.
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies, we're going to do something we hadn't done just yet. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back on the Red Raider Coaches Show. All right, welcome back to the Red Raider Coaches Show. Again, my host Brent Johnson, head ball coach Thad Williams. We're going to put that Thomasville game behind us, as you said, and look forward. We can't afford to because of who else is left on our region schedule. Berrien County is who we're up against this week. We're traveling to Nashville in a day or so. About an hour and 10 minutes in a car. It's not too bad. We'll encourage everybody to come out like we always do and support. It's a pretty good venue. The stadium's very similar to ours. They actually have a little bit nicer visitor side. They got a box for us to set up in. They're actually going to let us broadcast live this year. This is the first time. The last two times we went over, they asked us to just record and post it later. So I'm not sure if they got a new dude in charge. But we're going to go prepared to broadcast live. So if you can't make the trip, you'll be able to watch it live on the NFHS network. So, I've been kind of keeping up with Berrien's, their record right there, pretty good. But, man, they're scoring some points. And I think it got a lot of people's attention, the Clinch County game. Because I think Clinch won it late, and they were both in the 40s. So that's tell us what we need to know, be prepared for when we get there to watch Berrien let's start with their offensive side of the ball.
Man, great guys on the offensive side of the ball. Got a good running back. He runs the ball hard. Great quarterback. If I had to give you a comparison, probably to the Lanier quarterback.
Okay.
Same number, I think. So got to stop those two. Got to really keep those guys boxed in. Receivers are good. Receivers are good, can make plays, but we got to stop that quarterback and that running back. If we can box those guys in and contain them, I think we'll be all right. But like Coach got those guys rolling over there. He came from Cook last year as the OC. That's my stomping ground.
That's right.
Coach is doing a good job. He got those guys rolling. Played a great game against Clinch. Went down to the wire. So Well, you know, we got our hands full. You know, like I said before, you know, it ain't no.
So
It's
SEC
every week.
schedule, yeah.
I'm telling you, it's every week. You can lose any week. So we got to come to play.
Yeah.
We got to man up. You know, if we got to go on the road. You know, probably gonna lose a couple supporters after giving up. You know, that game last Friday. So I tell our guys we got to go on the road together. You know, and we got to stick it out. We got to make a statement. So offense, they are good. They're good. They can score, and we got to do a great job of containing that quarterback and running back. If we do that, we got a great chance of winning.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a tough task.
Yeah.
But Coach Wilder and Coach Easton, Coach Brown, they ready for it. And I talked to them on Sunday and told them don't get discouraged about what happened. You know, it happened to the best of us.
That's
you know?
right.
So they ready. Coach them ready. They have been prepared, and they have had a great first 3 days. So we just need to polish it up today. But Coach Wilder and they ready.
Well, how about on the defensive side of the ball? I know they obviously, you know, Clinch is a pretty good football team.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to be competing for another state championship, so they gave up some points.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as they scored. So do they have some guys that play both sides of the ball? You know, some of those.
Yeah, they do. A couple secondary guys. Number 15 plays receiver and DB. But, you know, when it comes to the game on the line, they're going to put their best players on the field.
That's
so on offense, we got to establish the run game. I know that y'all kind of didn't see that Friday, but that's what we've been working on, establish the run game, making sure that our O-line is aggressive off the ball. We got to get better at that. We got to get better in the trenches. I think that we were challenged last week, and we got to respond to this challenge. I think we are. I really do. I think we are. I think we're getting better as a core, as a group up front, and those guys they come to work, man. I remember Tuesday we was in the weight room, and I said, hey, we got 50 curls. You know, we're gonna put some in. We're gonna do 50 curls nonstop. And I'm like, Coach, you want to go 100? You know, so they're ready for the challenge. You know, they want to be challenged. So I'm excited about Friday. I can't wait.
I am too. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I can't wait for us to go on the road just to face a battle that, you know, after coming off a loss, see how we're going to respond.
That's right.
So, but the defense flies around. Good D line, big guys. Linebackers are solid. Secondary is good. So we got our work cut out for us. But I think we're ready. I really do. I want to see how we're going to respond.
Okay.
I want to see if we going to still move around about last Friday. But I think we're ready.
How are we? You know, we're 6 weeks in after playing 5 games. How are we injury-wise?
I think we're good. Isaiah's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah's good, so we're good. We still got a couple freshmen that dinged up and kind of waiting on them to come back. But actually, you know, we've been going for about 7 weeks.
That's right.
We played the 2 scrimmage games. So,
that's right.
So we're holding up pretty good. You know, we got some dinks and dunks here, but they're working through it. Carter Chancey kind of went out late on us, Jalen Berrien, but they're back practicing, so they're back rolling. But I'm excited. I'm to see how we're going to set this challenge.
Well, that's good, and I can't wait to get back there. And just like, you know, whether you coach in baseball like me or football or any other sport, a coach after any kind of loss, whether it's 1 point or a bunch of points, you're ready to get back out there and prove what you are capable of doing. Will definitely be probably a little better matchup for us coming into this week. So we're excited about that and giving our fans an opportunity to continue to see what this staff is trying to build here at Bacon County. If you haven't come out and watched these boys play, it is different than watching it online. If you've seen some recordings from, you know, some of the YouTube uploads after the live broadcast and those types of things, we got some kids that can roll. We got some really good athletes. We got some big kids up front, and they're front to work. We're still, you know, I don't know if anybody in the state has put 4 quarters together. You know, when you talk about that, that's what you always talk about. Let's play 4 quarters. I mean, Georgia Bulldogs, let's play 4 quarters, you know, kind of thing. We've managed probably 2.5 quarters probably per game. If we can get to that, give it 3 quarters. You know, we've a couple games where it's sort of a second half team.
Yeah.
I know against Troopland and against what was the rain?
Tailfair.
The Tailfair game. You know, we come back out in the second half and really played super well. So still trying to put a complete game together, and and why not this Friday?
Yeah.
You know, to get it done,
Yeah.
and get us going. So again, I'm excited. I love the away games because I tell you, I get to commentate, get to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on. Me and Coach Keck. So again, that's always fun and exciting. So again, we want to encourage you to come out this Friday night, to take the short drive, stop in Douglas, get you some Longhorns, some Chick-fil-A on the way to the game, and no, they're not my sponsors, but they're pretty good places to eat. Get you a bite to eat, and head on over to Nashville, Georgia, and support these Red Raiders, the cheer, the bands. Now, I will say this, the band is traveling, obviously, but they will not be performing the halftime. I think they got homecoming.
Yeah.
That's a little disrespectful.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to schedule Bacon County as their homecoming game. What? So yeah, I encourage you to again, come and if you can be there physically to support our team, that'd be great. If not, again, they are going to allow us to, at this point, to broadcast live. So if you can't make it, you can watch it online. But Coach, I appreciate you joining me. You know, I've told him earlier in the season, I said, man, when you win, these coaches show are a little bit easier than when you lose. But we always have a good time.
Yeah.
We're a good sport, and I appreciate you and appreciate your staff. So
Yes, sir.
look forward to this week. Raider Nation to come out and support us. Like I said, on behalf of Coach Stad and myself, go Raiders.
Go Raiders.